First of all, it does not matter what the government says, no matter what. Why? Because they're not coming to save you. They're not coming to help you. They're not cutting you no checks. We don't see no stimulus checks coming out. And we don't see no way you're going to get around this, but you got to fend for yourself. I don't care what is happening, no matter how hard you think it is, no matter what it looks like, no matter how damaging it is to your family. You still got to figure out how you and your family got to move. You still got to figure out some kind of way to keep a roof over your head. So that means if you got to rob Peter to pay Paul and do what you need to do and cut the prices here and there, you got to do what you got to do. So you got to come to a place where not be out there trying to hurt or harm nobody or stealing from nobody else. You got to work within your means, whatever that looks like to you, however it looks like.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Robert here. So Miss Marietta is right. Nobody's coming to save you. And we want to let that sink in, shock those of us that need to be shocked so that we can move forward and plan and prepare on how to make things better. Because we can't just sit around and complain all the time. Before we go any further, let me introduce myself for those of you that don't know. My name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process. And we do so by bringing relevant topics like this to your attention and then adding some education in on how to get things better. This is not the place just to lament. We're looking for solutions. So I challenge those of you that are a part of the community, those of you that are going to be a part of the community, express yourself. Like the scripture says, there's a time and a season for everything. We got to work together and control what you can control.
Hello, YouTube family. It's your girl Marietta here, back with another video. Y'all know I was in the city this morning. I did a video showing where I was in the city this morning. I was taking care of some business and whatnot. But in the midst of that, when I got ready to leave there, I went by the store, the public store, and I had a chance to, I went and got me some Chipotle as well, but I was just running around. So I got a chance to talk to a young lady who is in the process of going through an eviction. And I kind of asked her, I said, what was the problem and why you get evicted if you don't mind? Because she just spoke and said hello. She was stressed out and she said she wanted to talk. So I just wanted to go ahead and listen at her story. And she was telling me that, she was getting evicted only because the price of the rent is going up. The price of the rent is going up. You know, the price of the average rental is running between $1,700 and $2,000, and depending on where you're at and depending on the amenities to go with that unit. But so many people are suffering in the midst of this situation and don't know how to operate, don't know what to do when they're going through these type of things. And the sad part about it is there's going to be so much of this going on, and you're going to hear it. I'm going to hear it. We're all going to hear it. There's going to be so much hurt and pain going through with people not being able to find a place. And these things are going to happen. Why? Because for the mere reason the price of the rents is going up, but the incomes are not changing. The incomes are not changing. You cannot get blood out of a turnip. You can't expect people to pay rent in a era of time where there's just not enough money. It sounds to me like you only have so many options to operate in a situation the way the world is today with the evictions going on because of the price of the rent. You only have so many options.
Okay, so we're going to stop her a couple of times because I'm like her, or she's like me, very passionate when we're talking about certain things. But what she's saying is spot on. And what I'm speaking about is this. Whoever the owner of the property is going to pass those costs down to you, the renter. The reason I bring that up is because if you look at any of the videos here on the channel where I'm offering solutions or painting the picture of why homeownership is important, inevitably I get someone that's saying, hey, you're just a salesman and you're trying to get people to buy homes. And that's further from the truth if you watch the videos. I won't go on a rabbit trail there. I digress. My point is this. A lot of times I hear comments or I read comments or people say that, you know, I'm safe with rent, as if the cost from the landlord, which in 9 times out of 10 cases has some type of debt associated with that rental property or multifamily property, they're going to pass those costs to you. Over time, they're slowly going to increase the rents to match the increase of your income. So as she went on to say, the real issue that no one is speaking about is the income. We have to produce more. Nobody wants to hear it, But that's really what the root, or the rut, as my mom would say, of the problem lies. You can no longer just sit still and think things are going to remain the same. Why? There's a lot of economic forces going on, and there's a change, if you want to believe it or not, has been put in place. And so those of us that have been hiding and on the sideline, it's very important to start stretching and getting those work and production muscles working, because going forward, people that need help, those are the folks that are going to get it. And it's not going to be for multiple years. If you're able-bodied, you're going to have to produce. Let's continue.
One, especially if you don't have good credit. If you don't have good credit, the only options you have, first of all, is to try to clean your credit up, see what you need to pay, go ahead and pay it. Secondly, you may have to team up with somebody. You may have to live with somebody, but God knows that is a hard thing for people to do, especially a people of color, to come back to living together, 3 or 4 or 5 in a household just to make ends meet. You got to really love your neighbor. You got to really love your family to be able to live like this, and the people got to really want to make it, and they want everybody in the house to make it. That's the problem. The working together. The hard part about being in a situation like this is you can't find the right people to work with, so you're trying to do it by yourself, and you cannot, because if you got put out because of the price of rent going up, then and your income cannot afford to pay, so there's no way you're going to be able to afford to pay to go into something else. Because remember now, to get into a place, you need first month's rent and security deposit in most places. Some people are still saying it, and I thought they'd done away with that first month security deposit and last month's rent. I thought they did away with that. You got to have 3 times the rent. But some people are saying that is still happening depending on where you live and depending on what area you're trying to go into. So therefore, you're maxed out of the living conditions from the beginning. And then you can't get into low-income housing, because low-income housing, they froze. I remember hearing that they had froze the Section 8 waiting list. In a lot of states, that listing has been frozen, so a lot of people cannot just go and get on the waiting list. And even if you manage to get on the waiting list, that waiting list is so long.
Man, thanks, Miss Marietta. You're really cooking, as some of the young folks say, on this topic. And she's right. Again, guys, let's tackle them one by one. Credit blows my mind in 2025, especially after the pandemic period. And all of the internet stuff that was going on and all of the education goes to show you that education or information without implementation is just insanity. But I say all that to say this. I see applications all the time, and the credit is horrible. And so you could take that as I'm not trying to sneak this or anything. I'm telling you eye to eye. Come on, guys. What's the problem? The problem really is behavior, and that's an underlying theme to a lot of these videos, even with me saying able-bodied people need to work. You'd be surprised at all of the excuses that I get and the triggering that goes on with folks, because I'm saying, hey, if you're able-bodied, you need to produce. That's how a team works. That's how this system works. That's how the government works. Okay. And so everybody can't be on the dole. It should be for folks that need the help. I digress. So your credit, you got to fix your credit. There's no credit sweep. There's no credit this. You're just losing more and more money, and you're not changing the underlying habits. You are not your credit score. It's nothing for you to be ashamed of, but you got to pay your bills. And so with that being said, if you need help with getting on a credit plan that doesn't cost you a lot of money, where you're going to do the majority of the work so that you can get off of the credit repair wheel. Okay. I have a couple of links in the description. Now, did you see what I just did there? For those of you that are just consumers of YouTube and all these social media platforms, there's a lot of folks making money by helping people. Didn't say you were going to get uber rich, but every little bit helps. But you know what it's going to take? It's going to take work. You have to learn how to do that. You have to create a channel. Follow the leader. Okay? Multiple streams of income. Don't just consume. Figure out the business behind what it is that's going on while everybody's on talking, leading you to an end result. Okay? That's just some clues that you could use. Again, if you need credit help, check the description below and get your credit together. If you want to learn how I make these videos and learn the business of YouTube, check out the equipment list that I have below, and then invest in yourself. And this is a way. Remember the first segment, income, multiple streams of income. You got to get off the sideline and figure out the new way. Second thing, multi-family, multi-generational living. She's right. She said people of color, black folks, us, my people, we have a problem humbling ourselves, coming back together for a myriad of reasons. And so we won't get into that, but we have to learn how to do that. You're stronger together, especially if you need the help. Now, to those of you that live the YOLO life or solo life, well, you might have to reap the benefits of that. And hopefully for you guys, maybe you can humble yourself, repent, apologize, acknowledge what you've done wrong. And then hopefully you might be able to come together with some of you and yours, because it might be necessary. Other nationalities have it down. Asian descent folks got it down. Hispanic folks got it down. They understand coming together. And then we can go off if that's what we want to do. That's something that we have to learn.
If you don't have a plan, you need to sit down and start working up one. You need to start thinking about this. You need to really seriously start taking this seriously and taking your life seriously and taking your livelihood seriously and where you're going to live at. And if you got children, you need to start taking it real serious, that this is coming. It's coming. It's coming. Even more evictions are coming. You got to understand that the price of rent, the price of mortgage, this stuff is going up. And let me tell you something. When they go up, it's more than likely they're not going to come down for a good long time, if at all. If at all. The job market sucks. Some of you are going to be working day and night. You have to prepare yourself to do what you have to do. You're going to have to get yourself 2 or 3 streams of income coming through. If you already had 2 or 3 streams of income and it's not working, you might have to add another one. You might have to figure out how to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself. These 9-to-5 jobs, you better believe they are laying off so hard to the point where the people are so stressed out they don't know whether they're going to have a job from one day to the next. But the eviction is still coming. Whether you laid off or not, you're still getting evicted.
Sometimes it's better for someone else to say what you've been saying, because, you know, it could get old. We all have parents and folks that we know loved us, but when you hear it from the same source all the time, sometimes it could go or fall on deaf ears. So thank you very much, Miss Marietta. Very passionate, and she's spot on. So now, what are we going to do? Okay. As you know, if you follow the channel, I always want to leave with a positive note. And here's the deal. If you find yourself in a position of being evicted, look at what I'm saying. I'm not cheering. I'm not happy. I'm not none of those things. My heart goes out to you. You want to start locally and look for those local services that might be able to help you get over the hump. If you're truly disabled and need those types of services, make sure you get on them and start that process, because unfortunately it is a long, drawn out process. And in either situation, it's not an immediate fix. Step 2, this is where we fall back on family. Hopefully you have some family. If you have had beef or whatever with folks, now's the time to be humble. But not just be humble because you need something. How can you then go in and benefit those people? Example, say you're a child or an adult child that's coming back home or whatever. You're older, now you're coming back. How can you help the people in the home that you're going into to make their lives better, to limit costs? Cooking, cleaning, cutting grass. See, we have too many excuses. We have to learn how to be a benefit. You can't just go from laying up over here to laying up over here. It don't work like that. That's what I mean when I say being productive. Sometimes pleasant, okay? Saying good morning, making people's day. There's a lot of ways to benefit other folks so that you can come together if that's what you have to do for a season, okay? For a season. And while you're there, don't use that time just to waste more time. Implement some of the things that I aforementioned. If this social media thing is something that is exciting to you, it's work. And there's a learning curve. Nothing's easy. We need to throw that lie out of the book. And so you need to have those things in mind. Now, for those of you that are in a better position, and say you're renting and you're tired of the rent going up, because it's going to continue to go up. It's just what it is. but you don't have the down payment monies that you need to get onto the property ladder, or you really don't have the ability to afford the home. You could buy the home, but the affordability, the maintenance and all those things, well, maybe you think about the multi-generational living. Reach out. My contact information is in the description below, and I am a lender. We help nationwide. If I don't actually lend in that state, I have resources in that state to help you with someone that has the same type of heart that I have. So multi-generational. If you notice where she was, another thing is this: manufactured homes, mobile homes. This is a way to lower or bring down the cost of living, moving into other states that have a very low cost of living, especially if you can work remotely. You see, we have to start thinking and stop complaining, because as she says, ain't nobody coming to save you, and the gig is up. We need more production, and it just is what it is. If I could be of assistance as it pertains to residential real estate, or getting your credit together, or looking at the tools that I use to create these videos so that it could be an inspiration to you, the links are down in the description below. But for now, my time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, guys, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. And until the next time, watch this video right here, because this is further going to get you down the road and change your mindset about home ownership, and or what you need to do if you're not going to be a homeowner here in these United States. Until the next time, indeed, y'all be blessed.